Hello students, I'm glad to see you today. My name is Ina and today I'd like to provide you a webinar about the following topic, WH questions or special questions we can also call them. I'm going to write you the topic and I will tell you what it means, how we use them, how we form them, how we answer them and what kind of intonation we need to use. After that we will have a little bit of practice. So, WH questions. As you can look at the title of this topic, you can see here WH. So what is WH? This is, and as you can see, it must be the beginning. So these are questions which begin with some specific words. These are called question words. I'll write you over here, question words, and I will write you what are they. Question words. Or pronouns, we can also say. What question words are quite common in English? Of course, this is what, whom, which, whose, whom, why, where, when. Let me check. Have I written all of them? Yes. Which? Yeah. Okay. And the last one, which doesn't begin with WH, but it's anyway quite important one. This is how. So these are question words which we need to use when we create the question. And actually we begin our question using them. Now I will write you the examples of the WH questions and explain how we form them. So first of all, we always need to use question word. Let's start with the question word when. When do you finish college? So as you can see, when is a question word. What we have after that? After that, we have do. What is do? It's quite important part of the question. This is our auxiliary verb or helping verb. And it's very important one when we want to create a question, especially WH questions, because in all WH questions, we need to use auxiliary verbs. So we need auxiliary verb. And here we have, I will write here just WH word. You will understand. Okay, so this is first part, second part. After that, we have you. What is you? You is the subject of the sentence. Who does the action? And then finish. Finish is our verb. What kind of action we actually do. I want you also to say that in some books we don't say, it's not written auxiliary verb, it's written helping verb. So you can find that auxiliary verb, that means helping verb, the verb that helps you to create a question. And then you can use some objects if you need. Like over here we have college, and this is how we create the question. The easiest way to create a question to have a statement, and from the statement to create the question. Of course, we don't do this, but I just want you to help help you to understand how we do that. Okay, for example, we have here you called me yesterday. We have to identify, first of all, auxiliary verb. What auxiliary verb is over here? If we look at our main verb, called, we understand that this is past simple. And for past simple, we need to use auxiliary verb did. So let's create also, well, who, then we say, did you call? we don't use ending ed anymore because we already created the tense did, so we don't need to double it. And it's enough just to use auxiliary verb without any endings to the main verb. Like, let's imagine that did stole the ending ed and it's not used with the main verb. Who did you call yesterday? And we asked the question about me. This is who we said. Who? That's me. The answer will be me. Who did you call yesterday? Me. Let's look at one more. Okay. She should park here. She should park here. Let's ask the question. For example, where should she park? Should is a modal verb. As you know, modal verbs are very independent verbs and they are used as auxiliary verbs as well. So we put our question word, WH question where, then auxiliary verb should, then subject she, and park is the verb. We ask about where, and where actually we ask about here. Where should she park? This is how we create the WH questions. I can read you more examples. For example, when are you leaving? We have here the verb to be because it's present continuous. When are you leaving? Or where do you live? What has she done? Who would stay with? What have you decided? All of them follow the same structure. What have you decided? So when you create a WH question, first of all, what you need to understand in what tense you want to use when you want to create the question. If you want to use present simple, then you need to use do, does. If you want to use present perfect, then you need to use have or has. If it's present continuous, that will be is, are, or am. Where are you going? Present continuous. Present perfect. What have you done? Present simple. Where do you live? And so on and so forth. How to answer these questions? As this is a special question, it's weird to answer it using just yes and no. Of course, you cannot. If the person asks you, how old are you? You cannot say yes. You have to say, I am 5 years old, if you are 5 years old, if you're a child. Or if the person asks you, where is the nearest station? You say, the nearest station is just walk straight on this street and you will get to the nearest train station. So you have to create the full answer or just a short answer. It's also fine, but not yes, no. Like, what time are we meeting? And you say at 5, or we are meeting at 5. I'm not writing this because I think it's quite obvious and it's quite logical. How else we can answer such questions? I want you also to pay attention that sometimes we can create negative WH questions. I will take the same examples and I will create negative examples like this. Who did you call yesterday? To create negative example, when in negative sentence, negative question, we say, who didn't you call yesterday? This is a nice question. It even has more emphasis, like, who didn't you call yesterday? And we say, oh, I forgot to call a couple of people to inform them about my party. Or another one, as over here we have, where shouldn't she park? Usually to such question, we answer also negatively. So who didn't you call yesterday? I didn't call a couple of people. Where shouldn't she park? She shouldn't park on that lawn, let's say. So this is how we create negative questions. Also, I'd like to talk to you about intonation. Usually, when we create a WH question, we have intonation that is falling. I will write you over here, intonation. And the intonation is falling. Falling, that means it goes like that. Who didn't you call yesterday? Well, of course, I exaggerate a little bit, but I hope you understand. Where shouldn't she park? When do you finish college? And it's falling. Sometimes the intonation can be rising if we want to check, to clarify the information. It's like we know already the information and we want just to clarify it. For example, who did you, no, just a sec. For example, what did you say the time was? And the intonation is rising because actually you told me already the time and I almost remember, but I want to know it exactly. So you want to clarify the information. It's not so common, but anyway, you have to keep in mind that sometimes, in most cases, the intonation must be falling, but sometimes it can be rising. There is one more thing that I would like to discuss with you about WH question, and after that we will have a little bit of practice. This is about prepositions. Sometimes we create questions, WH questions, with prepositions. I will write prepositions in WH questions. For example, where will the money come from? Where will the money come from? In this case, preposition is from. Well, I will make it just like in bold. Usually when we speak or in informal speech, we use preposition at the end of the question. So this is speaking or informal style. If you want to sound more formal, you have to use preposition at the beginning of the question. Then it will be formal. I will write the same question, but with the preposition at the beginning. From where will the money come from? Sorry, without from. From where will the money come from? So it's possible to use preposition at the beginning, but you sound very formal. And if you don't want to be very formal, it's better if you use preposition at the end. I will read you more examples. For example, what will I talk to her about? Not what will I talk to her, though it is possible, but if you want to sound informal, or if you speak especially to a person, usually we ask questions when we speak to somebody, we need to use preposition at the end of the question. What will I talk to her about? Or who should we send the invitation to? Who should we send the invitation to? And well, actually, that's it. There is only one thing you must understand. When we have phrasal verbs like give up, wake up, get back, give back, and others, we cannot separate them. We cannot use preposition at the beginning because In this case, this is like one word, and you have to use it like it is. So, for example, you have to say only, when do you wake up? When do you, sorry, wake up? So wake up, it's like one word. You cannot separate it, and you cannot use up at the beginning of the question. I guess that's it. Now we will work with you a little bit on practice. I will show you PowerPoint presentation with different types of exercises which you have to perform using correct structure of WH questions. I will make some comments about them that you will understand how it is created one more time. So let's move to the presentation. So we have here WH questions, and the first one, the first task which you got here, you have here different question words, more than I wrote you on the board. Actually, almost the same, but with some like longer formation. Not only how, but we say here, we have here how far, how long, how often, where, and others. And I will give you a minute or two to think where to use these question words. We have here a question and the answer. It's, I guess, very easy, maybe even a minute. And then we will check. I suppose we shall check. So the first one, what color is the Greek flag? Blue and white. We ask about color. Where is Melbourne? It's in Australia. How many centimeters are in a kilometer? 100,000. When did the Second World War end? In 1945. Who did Romeo love? Juliet. What is Cyrus? It's a star. How far is from LA to San Francisco? Los Angeles. About 400 miles. How often are the Olympic Games held? Every 4 years. What kind of food is cheddar? It's cheese. And how long is the game of rugby? 80 minutes. Also pay attention to intonation, it's falling. Let's move on. We have here answers. And according to these answers, you have to think about questions. Also pay attention to what kind of tense it is. Present simple, past simple, present perfect. Actually, this is what you can see here. The first sentence, present simple. The second sentence, past simple. The third and the fourth are present perfect. I think you've got it, and let's check. The first one. What time do you get up? Answer, get up at about 7:30 usually. Present simple, we use do. The next one. What book did you read last year? If we ask about War and Peace, so we say, what book did you read last year? Or we can also ask about last year. When did you read War and Peace? It's quite a big book. Maybe you need the whole year to read it. The next, I have gone there to buy some food. This is present perfect. Auxiliary verb is have. So the question is, why have you gone there? To buy some food? So far, I've only eaten breakfast. I've only eaten breakfast, also present perfect. The question will be, what have you eaten so far? Only breakfast? Let's move on. Again, look at the sentences. Think what tense it is. Think about auxiliary verb which must be used. For example, number 5, now you have to put it in the oven. Have to is a semi-modal verb which demands auxiliary verb do in present simple. Yesterday, it's obvious past simple, so we use did. Number 7, I'm washing my hair, present continuous, so we have the verb to be. Number 8, I haven't paid the electricity bill. It's present perfect, so have. And the last one, my bike, I left it at school. It's obviously past simple, so we need did. Let's look at the answers. What do you have to do now? Now you have to put it in the oven. Present simple with semi-modal verb have to. How did you feel yesterday? Yesterday I felt absolutely great. So how did you feel? Did already created the tense, so we don't use felt, we use feel. What are you doing? I'm washing my hair. I can't talk, sorry. Present continuous. Why don't you have the internet? It's negative sentence, and as I said, it can be negative answer because I haven't paid the electricity bill. Where is your bike? It fits present simple, and we are interested in where it is now, or it's also possible to create past tense. Where did you leave your bike? Let's look at the next task. Here we have a story about Claudette. The words that are highlighted, that are bold, you have to create questions about them. And after that, I will show you the answers. This is only half of the story, another half will be a little bit later. Again, you've got a minute, I think it's easy, and after that we will check. So the first one, she's 32 years old. The question will be, how old is she? She lives in Paris, so we ask, where does she live? She has lived there since she was 5 years old. How long has she lived there? She works as a lawyer, so what is her job or what does she do? She travels to work by car. How does she travel to work? Every day, if you want to use. And about her husband, what is her husband's name? The next one, this is the continuous of the story. Let's move on because we don't have a lot of time. As they have 2 dogs, the question, how many dogs do they have or have they got? She loves to take the dogs for long walks. What does she love to do? Every evening or in her free time. She has some hobbies. So what hobbies does she have and what are her hobbies? And about her husband, about her favorite hobby. What is her favorite hobby? And about her husband, why does Jean think that this hobby is good? Or why does he think that cooking is a good hobby? Well, it's obvious because you eat something tasty. Right, the last task, we have here some information about tigers. Just found it. I think it's interesting. The words are highlighted and you have to create questions with them. We will move on and I will show you the answers. The first one, what is the largest member of the cat family? How much does a mature male tiger weigh? What color are tigers? Where do tigers live? And which tigers or which types of tiger are extinct? Extinct, that means they don't exist anymore, as all species are dead. Which or what animals do tigers eat, or what do they eat? Just simple. When can tigers produce young? How many cubs, these are like small babies, do tigers have at a time? How long do tigers live? And the last one, why are tigers hunted, or what are tigers hunted for? We have preposition at the end. All right, let's make the conclusion of our webinar. We discussed with you WH questions. When you want to create a WH question, first of all, think about question word which you need to use. Second of all, think about the tense that you want to create this question in. And at the end, if you need, think about preposition. You remember them, they are over here. They might be useful for you too. Thank you very much for your time. See you soon. Have a nice day. Bye.